Sensei William Christopher Ford. Thank you so much for taking the time out. And thank you so much for coming on my show. How are you, sir?
I'm well, and it's the honor and pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, it's an absolute honor. I've grown up on most of your work. The first time I ever saw you was actually in Karate Kid Part 3. And as always, Cobra Kai. You gotta say, is
Never
there anywhere
dies.
in, yes, Cobra Kai never dies. Is there anywhere you go in the world where people recognize you and do they always get to say that line? Do they always say to you, could you please say the line, Cobra Kai never dies? I bet there isn't anywhere you don't go in the world where nobody says that to you.
Interestingly enough, I have received very little recognition, outside of like people who actually know martial arts or whatever. I'm usually not recognized. I think it's you know, first of all, in Karate Kid 3, I was such a supporting role. I was so shocked when Cobra Kai premiered, on YouTube. I was starting to get correspondence from all over the world, including the UK. And they were contacting me, asking me if I did autograph photos and things like that. And I was quite taken aback. I was like, you're talking to me? But so the fans know, and my fan base seems to be comprised of people who are fans of the third film or the entire original trilogy, or Cobra Kai in general, or serious martial arts fans, particularly those who have come from a traditional background. They know my work through my 52 Master show. Um, and every once in a while, I do get, excuse me, were you in Cobra Kai, and can I get a picture with you? And of course, I'm always very honored to take a picture with somebody. But the other thing is, sometimes I hear later after the fact that somebody says, "Oh, like a friend of mine will say, oh, by the way, that person, wanted to get a picture with you, but they were intimidated." I'm like, why? Just, my thing is, if I can make someone happy by just, talking to them, getting a picture with them, then I'm happy. It's not like I'm a big superstar. It's not like I'm swamped by people. So I just like people. I'm a regular person. I'm back at my dojo teaching, and every once in a while I get to be in a big production, but I am by no means like a recognizable celebrity. So.
Recognized you right away. And when I saw season 6 of Cobra Kai, I recognized him. I saw it because you had the long hair. Because remember in Karate Kid 3, you had very short hair. And then
Yeah.
I saw a quick glimpse of it and went, that's got to be Dennis from Karate Kid 3. It's got to be Dennis. And then I see you later when Thomas, if he's listening, a big shout out to Thomas Ian Griffith, Terry Silver. Classic bad guy. I don't care what anyone says. That's without a shadow of a doubt one of the best bad guys ever created in any motion picture history. And when he's doing the same thing, laying
Well,
in the bathtub, and he's like, I wanted to meet you, reintroduce you to Mr. De Guzman," and then it's, "Yep, I was right. That was Dennis. That was Sensei Ford."
well, there had been some fans who had been lobbying for me to be back in the show. And when season one came out, people were asking me, "Hey, have you seen Cobra Kai?" And I'm like, "No, why would I want to watch that?" It just, what I was very tired of seeing uh rehashed series, based on old movies. And, I'm at that time I was thinking, why can't anybody come up with anything original? And then it went to season two, and then it went to Netflix, and then I took a look at it, and I was surprised, pleasantly so. And I realized that this was much more than just some, quick money grab. It was, wow, these are dedicated, professional filmmakers who are actually dedicated fans, and they respect the material and they respect the fans. And that's when, they started introducing little snippets of, like clues that maybe Mike Barnes would be returning. And then, of course, people were speculating, if Mike Barnes is returning, then that must mean that his henchmen Dennis and Snake are going to be returning too. And that's when I started getting more, hey, you're going to be in the show, right, next season, right? And it got to the point where I felt like I was being invited. People kept talking about this great party that was going on that I had not received an invitation to. So I was a little I was getting a little irritated because it feels like, no, listen, I have not been invited to this party, so stop asking me. Obviously, I'm not going to be in it. I mean, I wasn't that rude to anybody, but in my mind, I'm like, stop asking me. It's embarrassing. I mean, I'm not invited to the party. I'm not one of the cool kids, so just leave me alone. And that's how I felt. And then, of course, they had the actor strike and the writer strike. Season 6 hit, and then the strikes hit. And and my thinking is that, listen, if they haven't let me know before the season starts that I'm going to be in it, I'm not going to be in it. That's and it's like I'm good with that. And then I get the message from Josh Shield, and he asked me, "Hey, I want to ask you a question. Can I email you?" And that's when he asked me if I wanted to be, back in the show. And of course, I was very interested, and I kind of wanted to know what do I get to do. And he says, "Oh, you're working with Silver again, and you get to do some bad stuff to Daniel, and the whole thing about kidnapping him and putting him in the dog cages." And I was very excited to know that I was going to be bad again. And it's great that the characters have all these redemption arcs. Mike
Yeah,
Barnes and Chosen and Johnny. And the thing is that I didn't want that. I wanted my character to have gone even further. Like, I'm not going to be domesticated. I'm not going to be reformed. you know, I wanted my character to be so loyal to the cause that,
yeah,
he would basically still do anything for Silver. And so I
yeah.
got my wish in regards to that.
Well,
So,
you did get that wish, Sensei, because I think in a way, if you hadn't appeared in it, like if any one of the original characters had not appeared in Cobra Kai, it never would have worked. Because whenever you see one original character, you're wondering when is the next one going to arrive, in the next season, when is the next one going to arrive, and so on and so forth. Because it's one
mhm.
of the best domino effects that happens. But having you on my podcast, sir, I really appreciate you took the time out for me. Again, it's an honor to have you on the show. Us. Thank you very much.
Well, you know what, Addy? I seem to have a lot of friends in the UK, and it is directly because of Cobra Kai. People who've reached out to me who I have never met in real life, but who have sent me things and I've sent them things. So we've become friends over time. And, a lot of them happen to be in the UK, which is really cool. So I keep getting these invitations to come over, not by a convention yet, but, just from people like, "Hey, if you're ever in England, we'll show you around." And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to definitely visit. I want to see do the touristy stuff, but I would also like to visit some of the people that I've had contact with, and also I would like to visit martial arts schools and just say hello, and I'm always interested in talking to, real martial artists. That's where I came from, and that's still my passion today. So that being said, you mentioned that you had done martial arts. Do you still do martial arts, and if so, what style?
Mainly it's boxing, Shotokan karate, some kickboxing.
Mm,
Slowly want to get into Taekwondo because I've been told not to blow my own trumpet, but I've been told I'm quite good at throwing kicks in the air and everything. So when you come over, we'll have a
that's great.
demonstration and everything. Oh, thank you very much. That means an honor. Cobra Kai saying that is great. So I did strike first strike hard and show no mercy to the bag, not the human being, but you have to be merciful for a human being, not the heavy bag. Well,
Well,
so first of all, yeah.
my my father was a boxer, but in the Navy, and he was not professional,
Oh,
and
awesome.
that was kind of like one of my first introductions. And I consider boxing and wrestling martial arts. As does the MMA world. You need to have certain pillars, right, to be able to be
Yes,
competitive. And
yes,
boxing, kickboxing, like Muay Thai, wrestling, jujitsu, there's got to be certain foundational arts that you have in place that kind of, have the same principles, right? And I'm a big boxing fan. Muhammad Ali was my hero and still is,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's great to see, you know, people like, AJ and other people like that who are just making such
yes.
a big noise in the boxing world now.
I'm glad he is. I mean, we know what kind of noise he made, so we're
Yeah.
grateful for that
Well, we
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he made a big noise,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Oh, he did. He did. Yeah, yeah. It was a real good connecting noise that we could all hear everywhere. So, Sensei, what I'd like to do for you, that I would do for my guest, because obviously he took the time out from us, for me, and it's like I say, it's part of my faith, it's part of my culture. When somebody of an esteemed uh, career, an esteemed individual as yourself, I'd like to do this for you. First off, I'd like to wish peace and blessings upon you. And I pray that everything that you strive for in life, that you achieve it, you achieve more on top, you achieve nothing but greatness, so does your loved ones. And I wish nothing but the best for you for the foreseeable future. Amen to that. I'd like to do that for you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, sir. You're most welcome. Second thing is I like to do is I like to compliment you on all your accomplishments in acting, in martial arts, in teaching, in producing the documentary. I saw some episodes of 57 Masters, which I do want to talk to you about pretty soon as well. So we're going to get into that. And most important question is, because my show is called Chat Over Coffee, in case we have the opportunity of meeting, how do you like your coffee?
Well, I like my coffee brown and sweet, so I like it strong. So oftentimes I'll do an add shot of
Yeah.
espresso, but a
Same here.
teaspoon of heavy cream. All you need is a teaspoon, because it's
Oh
very
yeah.
concentrated, very thick, but it's very rich. And I tend to do three Splenda, and that is a very good cup of coffee.
Cool. So whenever you come to England, the coffee's on me. Yeah, that's without a shadow of a doubt. The proof is on the camera that I will purchase the coffee for you. Okay, or I can make you one here in the
I'm gonna
studio. I
hold you.
have all
I'm
the.
gonna hold you
I
to
have
that,
all.
sir.
Oh, consider it done. Because if not, you will strike first, strike hard, and show no mercy. I bet there's
Well,
nowhere on the planet. Yeah, I
you
bet. I
know
bet there's
what?
nowhere on the planet not in. Yes.
I think people have asked me what my philosophy is on martial arts, and is it more Miyagi-Do, or is it more Cobra Kai, or
Yeah.
is it Eagle Fang? um, so I do come from a traditional karate background where things like humility and respect, self-control, discipline. Those are all pillar stones, of traditional martial arts. At least they should be, right? And so,
Yes.
I use those as sort of the foundations to who I am as a teacher, as a martial artist, and as a person. They've helped develop me into. Um, I want to be a somebody like a mentor or a role model to particularly kids. So very important, yeah. But I
Hmm.
also believe that there is a point where when you have no other choice and you've tried to de-escalate and you've tried to escape and you've tried to walk away. It's not always easy, but when you can. But when that point comes where there is the point of no return, and even right, it doesn't mean that the person has to have actually halfway thrown the punch. When somebody's is about to go down and their fist balls up and they look away and they're about to sucker punch you. And that's where you must strike first and you must strike hard, and that you must have no mercy, meaning you must be relentless until they end the fight. And that doesn't mean that you have to seriously harm somebody. It could mean that, you're able to restrain them, put them in an arm bar. You can, slap them around. Sometimes for some types of attacks, you have to really like, show force, and I don't think that, we want to try to get away from excessive force, of course, but that's when I believe that the Cobra Kai philosophy has to come in, and then you can apply it to, how you go about approaching goals in your life. Sometimes you can't wait around for an opportunity to happen. You have to be working and grinding and gearing up and be prepared so that you can take that opportunity and go for it full bore, and just don't apologize for just being who you are and going for what you want, as long as you're not hurting other people in the process. So that philosophy can be very effective. I think that you have to have a balance of sort of the Miyagi-Do and the Cobra Kai philosophy. I don't think that, for me, one or the other doesn't work. They work together. There's a yin yang type of situation where they work well together. and that's why I like that, you know. So we're still on the good guys. We're not bullies. So we're using that philosophy and using it for, you know, somebody who goes into like you know, combat sports, right? They're gonna like, you know, they want to get the first hit off. They want to go hard, and they're gonna like go until, you know, the fight is done. And I think that can be very it doesn't have to be a bad thing.
That sensei, because it's true. I mean, everything when I learned, one of the things my own sensei would say to me, even my own boxing coach used to say to me as well. He goes, even though you know how to defend yourself, you know how to do this, you know how to do that. The best thing is be smarter and just walk away from the conflict. There's no need to run into something that's of no importance because that's just somebody who just is seeking attention. And when you don't give the attention seeker the attention that they are seeking, only then there's those type of people is what they would say. Their bark is worse than their bite. That's all it is.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
very
yeah,
important
and
not
just
to take
walk
the
away.
bait.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true.
Yeah.
I 100% agree
And-
with you because they're just looking to get you into trouble. That's what it is.
Mhm. Yeah. And you know, the same could be said, Adi, of you know, internet trolls. You know, there's always somebody who's going to say something, and it's so easy to want to say something back. You know, it's very tempting. I've done it myself. You know, it's like, and then I thought about it later. It's like I was probably just talking to a bot, anyways. But you know, it's like, why did I take the bait? You know, it's so.
Yeah.
You know, the best thing to do is just say nothing. You know, and give it no power. You know.
No, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. It is just probably somebody who goes into a room. They're just looking to, initiate quarrels with people because they've got nothing better to do with their lives. But the best thing to do is if we know that we're trying to accomplish something. Yeah, we're trying to accomplish something. We're trying to achieve something in life. Last thing we need is just some underachiever who doesn't want you to achieve anything in the first place. That's just what it comes. That's really what it is. It's just somebody who's completely envious of you. Yeah.
Well,
So,
you know,
yeah.
the benefit of that is that, you know, the even the negative comments on YouTube help the algorithm, and it can actually help boost the views. So, you know, in that sense, it's a good thing.
There's always a positive out of every negative.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.